Hey, Mercer County. Yeah, I'm talking to you. MMA is coming to our small town, and it's bigger than ever. On Saturday, October 25th, MMA takes over the Shipyard Sports Events Center in Salina for an unforgettable night of fights, food, and fun. This might be the closest you can get to experiencing what it's like watching it live on TV. Tickets are available now at shipyardohio.com. Grab yours before they're gone. Doors open at 5, first fight at 6, free parking, and a night that'll have the whole county talking. Don't miss it. Don't be the one left at home. Shipyard Showdown, Saturday, October 25th at the Shipyard in Salina. Head over to shipyardohio.com now and get your tickets. Hello and welcome to the Two Dads Podcast, episode number 35. I'm here with Jake, the General Lee, and my friend Slick Willie. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you, buddy? Doing pretty good. Had a good weekend over at Oktoberfest over in Minster, and a little sluggish on Monday morning.
You've been tired this week. You've been going through the ringer at work and other things that you have going on in your life. I could sense it via text, dude. I could see how tired you were. Normally you have an exuberance, or you've got this like underlying tone of like, next man up, we got this, 1% bet. It's always an inspiring text you fire over the. I knew you were down this week when I messaged you and you just wrote like, "Yep, okay."
Yeah, it's been a long couple weeks at work. We made some organizational changes, and I've consumed those positions in the meantime until we hire somebody else.
You're spinning a lot of plates then, buddy.
Yeah, I'm serving up some dishes at work, but I love my job, and we'll get through it. It's just a short, painful area for a good long-term gain. So
even that quote right there, Bill Ray, was uninspiring. It still sounds a little self-deprecating.
I was a baseball guy. You got to strike out once in a while.
That's good. It keeps humility. I struck out. I should have done like a Bruce Buffer, like, it's time. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jake's here. Jake, the General Lee, is here. You are an upcoming fighter in the Shipyard Showdown that's coming October 25th to the Shipyard Sports and Events Center in Salina. So we thought like, well, you're coming to town, and you're going to be around the area, so we should definitely interview. How's your day going? Like, how was the trip over here?
Rainy. It was pretty rainy on the way here. I had football practice in Piqua. That was rainy there, and then I went back home for a second change and came here.
Wait, what do you do for football? Are you a coach or you?
Yeah, I'm a freshman football coach in Piqua.
What do you teach them how to fight in the pile, or like what?
No, I try not to do that.
Does being a fighter give you an edge as a football coach?
Oh, for sure. I like headbutting their helmets.
Okay, you're just kidding.
Dude, you're crazy. You're crazy.
I'm excited to have you, though. Bill, do you watch a lot of UFC? Are you into UFC? Like, do you watch a lot of fighting?
I'm the definition of, if it's on at the bar or the party I'm at, I'm going to watch the whole night. But the problem is like I won't go out of my way to find it, though. But I love the big name fights. I actually love like the intro fights. I guess the prelim card, whatever you want to call it. I like those guys because I feel like those guys are fighting for paychecks. The big guys, obviously, they're getting paid, win or lose, probably more if they win, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I like the little guys that got to kind of fight to make their name. I just feel like there's probably a whole lot of heart in there. And if I'm wrong, UFC guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel to tell me I'm wrong.
I actually watched my first fight in a long time. Like, I like fighting. I'm kind of the same way. I think UFC has grown on me over the past several years. But relatively, I was sort of just kind of an entry-level fan. If the big fights were on, or there was a big fighter that has come to states, like with Conor McGregor, I didn't miss those fights, right? Like, I was definitely going to watch those. But it's amazing. Have you noticed, Jake, like the growth over time of how popular this is getting? Like,
100%.
I mean, compared, because how many years have you been in this?
4 now.
4, and from year 1 to year now, have you seen it rise in popularity?
100%. Even then, before starting training, I've been watching this stuff with my dad since I was 8 years old. Been playing the game since it was UFC 2010. So it's changed a lot, and there's just more dogs in the fight for sure.
So does that make more opportunities or less opportunities?
It makes more, but everybody still wants to go to the UFC. That's the main stage.
Is that where you make your money?
Yeah, but there's fighters in the UFC that are winning millions a night. So
we'll get into all that, but let's go. Let's run it back, right? Let's go. Let's start where all this began. Where'd you grow up? I think you're from Wapakoneta, right? And what kind of kid were you? Where did this passion kind of come from?
I am from Wapakoneta, but I was raised in Colorado, Grand Junction, Colorado, and moved here when I was 11 because this is where my dad's originally from. The kind of kid I was kind of just quiet, stayed to myself. Sometimes I was a punk, but I tried to keep that from my dad. And honestly, even then, my home life was so all over the place. I normally only had my dad, so we tried to keep it pretty cool with him.
So you said you're a quiet kid, but how did you get into fighting growing up? Or was this a hobby or a passion that came later? Like, yeah, you're quiet, but did you have like a quiet anger about you, or was this something that developed later on in life?
It was kind of a quiet anger. I really didn't fight unless I had to. If there was one of my buddies getting bullied or my little brother, then I fought. But other than that, I kind of saved that till later in life, honestly. I did get in one fight in high school, but that was not my fault, one of my buddies.
That's kind of surprises me. Does that surprise you, Bill? I feel like I thought maybe it's a stereotype. Maybe I sit here and go, you got a troubled childhood, you come over from Colorado, you're single parent, kind of raised, like you get in a bunch of mischief, but it sounds like it's a quiet reserve here, only fighting by necessity, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see it. It's obviously, right, tenfold either way, right? You just grow up a certain way and you think that's the method of the madness. I'm sure there's plenty of MMA fighters out there, UFC, et cetera, that grew up in fighting, growing up in tough situations, fighting to stay alive maybe, and that's just why they're good at fighting. And then I'm sure it's probably your scenario where you probably had a pretty stable upbringing and you chose to fight and maybe you just like the sport, or you maybe, do you like the aggression? Do you like getting punched in the face? I mean, does that get you pumped up?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, I like to headbutt them kids before the game, so that always gets me a little hyped up for the game. And then
they call that CTE.
yeah, I think I got that from football a little bit. But yeah, honestly, getting hit it's not that bad, but my head movement's one of my favorite things. So when I do get hit, it's kind of like, all right, I appreciate that guy for nicking me there. But I also did promise my mom that I wouldn't get hurt super bad doing this shit. So I try to not get punched in the face as much as I do like it.
Do you tell the competitors that your mom's going to come after them if they whoop you too bad?
She lets them know from the stand. She's pretty vocal about that.
That's pretty scary, especially the access or the like. It's I mean, you're not playing to huge crowds just yet, having the ability to hear someone's mom. Yeah, if you touch him, I will beat the living crap out of you.
Yeah.
Bill, you ever been in a fight? I never asked you this. You been in any fight?
I've been on the opposite end of fights. So
what does that mean, my friend?
I'm saying I'm the number one guy at a bar that tries to alleviate fights, and I usually end up catching a stray doing so. So I'm sure someone out there, Dart at McSober's or some other bars, would maybe argue a little differently when I was drunk in my younger ages. But a lot of times it did, try to break it up, and then one guy calls you a dumb MF or whatever this may be, then maybe I get pissed and step in a little bit. And I think it was just being bigger most of the time, trying just like, hey, I can break you two guys up, but no, not a real big fighter, more of just, hey, let's go over here and have a beer and forget about Mitch over there who called you, XYZ or hit on your girlfriend or whatever starts those fights.
It's because you're going around talking about conspiracy theories to old men at bars, and they're getting pissed and they're fighting you, they're punching you in the face. I've only been in one fight myself, and it was in band. So it's not that cool, I don't got a laundry list. I like a little fight, though. I like a little scrap, though. I'm a little weird. But the problem is, my vision is terrible.
Oh, I feel
so when you want to talk some smack and you get the glasses knocked off, it's
You're
game
done.
over. Yeah, dude, it's awful.
Scooby-Doo.
He looks like a demon and is a demon. You know what I mean? Metaphorically, physically, and then in vision. So, that's just the kind of person that I had to grow up being. But when you were growing up doing this, right, and you are looking at this, were there people who inspired you to want to go toward fighting? Were there any heroes that you looked at to do this? I guess lead us through the earliest phases of when you started taking fighting seriously or seriously considered it.
Honestly, like I said, I've been playing that UFC game since 2010. I remember waking up in the middle of the night, saw my dad and all of his buddies playing that game, and I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and be like, let me whoop everybody real quick, and just have to whoop everybody and be like, all right, I'm going back to bed. And so I've always really, really liked the sport. Then I moved here, and I was kind of focused on football. After football, kind of went through a rough patch a couple months, just like, what do you do now? And
when you say that, do you mean like you were searching for your identity a little bit? Like you didn't really know.
Yeah.
What does that lead to? Is it like drugs, alcohol abuse?
I was smoking all the time, staying up late, eating a bunch of Little Debbie's, and it just wasn't a good lifestyle. And I remember one morning I woke up, honestly, I thought, man, I might be done here after here too long. And my brother-in-law woke me up and was like, hey, I found a gym in St. Mary's, and we ended up going, and I fell in love with it. So
that's awesome, man. I'm really glad you shared that. That seems like I could tell. Look, sometimes you can tell in the studio. That sounds like it was a tough time, bro. It sounds like what we talk about, because Bill lost his dad, and he'll share some times when it's a low. And I went through like a pretty serious divorce and had to move back here. So you're in good company here with men who have gone through something a little bit more significant. I could see you almost just like, I could see you feel it. I could see you feel it. And that's cool. And I really appreciate you sharing with us, because this is a really safe space. And our listeners, I know they're sitting back there appreciating, because one of the things you said to Bill, or Bill, you said to me, as I toss it over to you, is one of the things people like is how relatable some of these situations are. And we've all been there. Like drinking, smoke. I mean, I felt like you could be describing me for a little bit. Right. You know what I mean? Especially the Little Debbie's. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we all love Little Debbie's. If you're looking out there for a podcast sponsor, someone that works at Little Debbie, let me know. Yeah. Everybody loves a fudge round. But in all seriousness, no, we went to Oktoberfest this weekend, and we had a young lady, shout out Liz, if you're out there listening. She says she listens to all of them. Basically tell us, one of her favorite parts about the podcast is being able to be vulnerable and real and talk about real life issues and having that stature. And, for me and you have been doing this for 35 episodes now. It's a little easier than what you probably just did there.
And you're 23. Yeah. I mean, I'm 36 now. You know what I mean?
So it just proves the point that, even, maybe the strongest people out there kind of goes to show that everybody has, demons or vices or something else like that that they're working through or have worked through, or meeting head on and need someone, some assistance to help out there. So, but to get back on track a little bit, you played football growing up, you said. Did you wrestle at all?
I wrestled 1 year in 6th grade and got my ass kicked every match.
It wasn't the video game style.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I lost, so I quit.
It wasn't aggressive enough. I wasn't sure if that kind of, pings you into that overall. But
I think the singlets got me, honestly. I was like, I'm not doing this, guys.
Dude, dead serious. Ask my mom this. She'll love it. And my brother might say the same thing. I don't know if he knows the story. I think my dad tried to put me in wrestling in like 2nd grade, right? And I was a big kid, right? So putting that singlet in on a short, round man was not the most confident building thing ever. And I got through wrestling like the first 3 weeks till we had to put on the first singlet. And I'm just like, no, I'm not wearing that. And then I just quit wrestling.
Just a blatant no.
And Dad's like, all right, we got to get you in basketball or soccer or something. I'm like, cool, I can wear those uniforms, right? So that was fun, but it's funny you talk about that a little bit. But what pulled you towards fighting? Was it, just, I know you talked about a little bit finding an outlet of that, but, was there anything else that pulled you towards that? Or was it just your buddy who said, hey, I got a gym, let's go do this, and you were just hooked?
Honestly, even then, a couple months before that freaking UFC game, man, it gets you. Me and my buddy would stay up all night playing that, and we'd start a career and turn it up a difficulty. And just my knowledge of the game and how to move my head and when to throw what punches grew so much from just that couple months of playing with my buddy Evan, that I loved fighting so much more. And when my brother-in-law John did come to me and was like, hey, let's check this gym out, we went. They were having classes. The coach at the time, Diamond Long, shout out Diamond, she said, hey, we're having a cookout, come back later, we'll do some rolls, have fun. So they cooked some food, we came back, rolled, and I'd never stepped foot in a gym before this, and they're like, do you want to try and roll? I was like, sure. And they put me up against some dude who was like 6'4", cut up, and I was like, fuck, man.
I just came for some cookout.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to shoot a takedown. I hated wrestling, so I knew if I went for a takedown, I might be eating a knee, and I didn't want that to happen, but he wouldn't need me. He was being pretty nice with me. I ended up pulling guard and getting him in a triangle pretty quickly from learning from the game, and everybody freaked out like, whoa, how does he know how to do that? And then instantly Diamond wanted me to come back, and I trained with Diamond for probably 1.5 years, 2 years, and it was fun over there. Shout out everybody who trains at Young Guardians. It's a great place to train over in Lima, but now my heart lies in Pickwood with Johnny and Chelsea, and I love that place. It
sounds like you're a poster child for the video game series, though. I mean, seriously, you are EA's poster child, where they're like, maybe we'll inspire some kid to want to be in the UFC. We're giving them access to the game and stuff. I hear your story a little bit, and it sounds like I listen to Rogan and stuff like that, and he was talking about how jujitsu and mixed martial arts saved him because he was a punk growing up, and that's not necessarily you, but he said he said it's like a cult-like thing, Diamond was for you. Like he said, it's just one step away from being a cult. I mean, you're just fortunate that they're good people and they want to teach you something, but it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were looking for discipline and maybe consistency at the time when you weren't so high on yourself that, yeah, video game's a nice outlet, but this was sort of opening a door for you, right? When did it click for you, I guess? Was it that first takedown when you got him in that chokehold that you said, oh shit, I might be onto something?
Well, my brother-in-law, John, he was definitely the first person to be like, hey, dude, you can do this, because we'd be smoking at my house and he'd come over, hey, hit mitts, man, fucking. So we'd go over there and hit mitts, and none of my buddies would want to take advantage of that. And he was in the military and did the strongman tournaments in the military and ended up getting 6th place in that.
So he knew his stuff.
Yeah, he knew a little bit of stuff. So I was like, I'll take whatever I can from this dude. And this was before I started training or anything. And we'd go over there and hit mitts, and my left hand would crack every time. And he'd be like, dude, you got to start training. And all my buddies would box each other, but nobody would box me even before we hit mitts. So I was like, guys.
They wouldn't play video games with you, and now they won't box you
yeah,
in real life.
They knew I knew something, because every time we did play the video game, they're like, dude, you know too damn much. Like, you're going to piece us up. And that might not have been some of their thinking, but you could tell that was a lot of their thinking. But
that's how Mitch feels when I play PUBG versus him.
Yeah,
yeah. He beats my ass.
But he really was just like, you need to get into this. And it's hard to believe him sometimes. Still, it's hard to believe that I am a good fighter sometimes, especially my record being the record it is. But before every fight, I'll tell him, dude, I'm nervous. And he's like, what the hell are you nervous about, dude? Like, your opponent has nothing against you 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, you should have been able to whoop this guy. And every time he just gives me the ultimate confidence to go in the ring.
That's big, I think, from any coach. How did you figure out you want to do this? You're with your coaches. You say, hey, man, I'm ready to do this. I want to train. I'm ready for my fight. What did your parents' reaction, your friends' reaction look like? Did they support this idea, or were they, I think you said earlier, your mom obviously pretty skeptical, probably to say, doesn't want her baby boy to get, his face rearranged in some fights, which regardless of what fighter you are, you're going to take lumps. So were they supportive in all that, or a little skeptical?
Yeah, my dad, he was a bouncer when I was younger, and he's got crazy big hands, just huge hands, and he loves watching UFC. We've watched UFC since forever, and right when I told him, I was like, I think I might fight. He's like, do it, dude. And when I win, lose, and yeah, I talk to him. He's like, I don't know. I tell him, I don't know if I'm ready to do this, or I don't know if I'm capable of keep doing this. He's always like, dude, shit or get off the pot, man. Fucking. So that's always pretty nice to hear from my dad. And my mom, the first time, I was a bit bigger when I told her the first time, I think I want to be a fighter, out of shape. And she laughed. She's like, you got to train for that, right?
Okay, Mom. Okay.
All right. But even then, she's super supportive. Every time I fight, she makes me more nervous than I actually am. She's like, I'm just nervous about my baby. I get it. If you're nervous, don't tell me, please. I'd rather just go into it knowing I'm going into war, nobody else is,
How much of this is a confidence battle? Because I can tell, you're younger, look, you're 23, but you have the support of your parents, you have the skill set, and you've got a great team around you. Even so, the guy across from you, it's question marks, but relatively, if you feel like you have the skill, then you can do it. How much of this is confidence for you? And two, was there ever a moment on the opposite side of what Bill says? You ever had a moment, whether it's your 3-4 record, and I don't bring that up as anything bashing, but you've got a long way to go. This is just amateur fighting, right? But has there ever been a moment, conversely, where you said, I'm not cut for this, and the confidence has sort of exited?
Yeah, it's there almost every day. It's a tough sport to do, and
why though? I'm sure listeners will wonder why. Why is it a tough sport to do? Not just in the fighting, but why is the confidence wane in a career like this?
You never know what your opponent's doing. Especially in amateurs, we're not posting videos every day of our training regimen or any of that. I'm hardly on social media, so nobody sees what I do. Like, so you miss a day of road work, you think, oh, my guy probably ran 3 times the amount I did today. And then you're like, am I ready to go into this cage? And honestly, a lot of it is confidence for me. If I could go in there with 100% confidence, I'd definitely be undefeated. I mean, a lot of the guys I have lost to went on to go and do good things. Gates Cook is a great fighter. He's going to do good. He's got Don Budka, who's a great fighter, and they're both going to do good things. Hopefully he gets back to the UFC. But, yeah, back to the toughness of it. A lot of normal people don't want to get punched in the face every day. Like,
It's totally fair.
You pull up to the gym and you see 2 cars, you're like, what am I here for, man? And then you walk in, one of them's the coach, the other one's one person, and he's half your size. Connor Smith, I'm not talking shit. You'd kick my ass half the
Sorry,
time.
Connor.
But, I wouldn't trade Connor for the world. Like, if I only had him and it was consistently him every day, I'd do that. But just people being consistent and having a good, solid training camp. Like, I fought for a belt in last November for the Route 33 promotions, and it was literally just me, Connor, and Jack in there, and they're both, I think Jack's a 35er and Connor's a 25er, and I'm a 55er. I know it's not the craziest difference, but
What does that mean? Just for
weight, my bad.
Okay,
155.
Got it. Yeah, we got some amateur listeners here too. No, it's all good.
Me too.
Yeah, I was sitting here like, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, and for my opponent, like, they're both kind of shorter guys. My guy was taller than I was and had longer arms, so it was kind of just hard to get a good camp in for that. Not that I didn't get a good camp in for that, but it was kind of me having to find the range and stuff. And when I got into the cage, I mean, sometimes the places we fight aren't the greatest places as amateurs, and I'm not begging for anything great. I mean, I know the Shipyard, we always do it great. The Ego was always done good places to fight in, but that Route 33, you walked in and there was a pile of sawdust in the corner, and then people started flowing in and it's flying all over the place, and you're like, oh God, I got to fight in here, man.
What's the prep like that, Bill, on your end? Because I'm curious, because Bill was a college athlete. He played college baseball.
Yep.
He doesn't know what his opponent's doing. He can watch a little bit of tape and maybe is it similar in the way that you prepared for a college sport as well? Like, you don't really know much about the other team. You kind of know about the pitcher or the hitters, but relatively, is it similar or is it completely opposite? I'm actually asking as like a friend.
I would say that I never had a whole lot of tape on any guys. You would face, year over year, maybe the same guy twice, right? So
Sure, okay.
I mean, you think of it in MLB terms, right? If you get to see the same pitcher 10 times, now I've seen everything this guy's got. Mm-hmm. So the third, fourth, fifth, sixth at bat gets a little bit easier, unless they're just that good, and then you're just kind of screwed either way. So the preparation-wise is really just – baseball for me was always just a mental thing, right? Like, genuinely, like same thing. Same thing he's talking
similar,
about.
Yeah.
Baseball is a sport of failure. So, if you bat 300, you're in the Hall of Fame, you fail 70% of the time. So, our getting punched in the face is getting punched out and struck out, right? So if you strike out the first 3 at bats by this guy and you go out there a 4th time, what makes you think anything's going to change, right? So maybe by round 4, you're like, he's over here like, hey, I'm getting my ass whooped, but I just need one good round. So if I hit a home run in the 9th inning and he knocks the guy out in the last round, we both win, right? Like, 1 home run, 1 knockout, we win. So it's just really being able to relentlessly lose just to set yourself up to win, which, the biggest thing I see the disparity for him is what he was saying, training, right? If your training partner is there, then you said you had limited number of guys and you're not knocking your guys. But if you're training a guy that's got, 42-inch reach and he's training a guy with 35-inch reach, can he really train the way he needs to prep? Probably not, right? Like, not as efficiently as you'd like to be, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
So I think that would
drive me insane. I mean, just think about, like, even I can see where some of the question marks come up, because even in my head, okay, I'm trying to, like, slow this down in layman's terms for myself. Let's just take it for, like, running a mile. They always said if you had a faster partner that you sort of get faster because you can keep up or you want to pass them and, you're jostling for position. Great.
But it's so funny because you said it earlier. You said like, all right, well, I went out and ran 4.5 miles and I'm dead. But your brain can trick you to be like, oh, this guy probably ran 6. Maybe he ran 2, like
or didn't run at all.
Or didn't run at all. But
smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, is that getting ready for the Sawdust Bowl inside the saloon?
Everybody loves a good Marlboro Red.
Yeah, exactly. Cowboy killer before he goes in and fights. Are you excited about the Shipyard though? This episode, for those that are listening, we are going to be out there. Bill and I are going to be at the fight at the Shipyard Showdown, October 25th. You guys need to get your tickets now before they sell out. We are fearlessly promoting this one. Are you excited about this one? Before we jump in too much about it later, you did say you were fighting in sawdust-filled saloon-esque, some dirtier spots. Do you get it more excited when you fight in a more, I guess, legitimate location?
100%. Yeah. That time we walked in midday and everybody else was gone there at an Airbnb. We had no clue where we were going to be. We couldn't look at hotels, look at anything. So we were just there all day out in this hot fairground and had nowhere to go except for under a tree. And then we go to Hobart and they got fancy lights all over the place and a nice walkout and red carpet. And I'm sure the Shipyard's going to do it just as that, if not better. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's a really nice location. I work out there from time to time, and that was where our commissary was for our food truck too. So we have plenty of hours out there at the Shipyard.
Yeah.
Climate controlled. They've got high-rise windows. You can look down upon the fight, as well as 2 giant field houses where they're going to be slinging drinks and lots of tables, lots of energy. I've seen the lighting that's going in there. I've seen where the cage is going in there. So for those that are listening now, please do not sleep on this. MMA is coming to Mercer County, and if you are sitting back there debating on coming to the fight, there's no debate between me and Bill, and there's certainly not one with Jake because he's got to be there to fight. But, buddy, are you excited to go out there, Bill?
Yeah, I'm just excited to go out there, have a few drinks, and cheer on Jake. And I'm going to pick somebody from each matchup. And, if they win, maybe I'll hand them a hat or something. I don't know yet. We'll give them something. I'll be like, hey, champion of the day.
Hey, how are you? They'll be like, who the hell are you?
Who are you? I'm Bill. Follow us on Two Dads Pot on all socials.
Always plug, baby. You ever notice how every great weekend in Mercer County somehow ends up at the Moose? Yeah, because that's where the good stuff happens. This Thursday, October 16th, they've got Rinderly and Krogman live from 7 to 10 p.m. Killer local duo, perfect way to ease into the weekend. But then Saturday, it's a big one. Former Buckeye players are coming to town for the game day party at the Moose. You can literally watch the Buckeyes with the Buckeyes. How about that? Grab a table early, bring your crew, and knock back $12 buckets all weekend long. That's the Salina Moose Lodge, 1473, where the music's live, the drinks are cold, and every weekend turns into a story. And as always, if you want to be part of something special, something different, and something unique, join the Salina Moose Lodge today.
All right, Jake. So how different really is the reality of being an amateur fighter compared to what people think it is?
That's kind of tough because some people think it's all that, and the next, some people are like, what are you doing, man? So I remember right after my second fight, my little brother, he's in the Marines now, but he was playing football for Wapakoneta. They text me like, hey, dude, you got to come do something about this kid. So I go out there, and all the coaches were excited to see me. And Coach G, such a nice guy, he knocked me up. Hey, how's it going? I was like, good. He said, what are you up to? I said, fighting. He said, oh, are they at least paying you? I said, yeah, I got paid for ticket sales, $350. It was my first fight. He's like, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. I was like, man, come on. Like, that's not even that bad.
It reminds me of the wrestler, though. So we had an amateur wrestler come on, and not the amateur wrestling. We're talking like semi-pro WWE-esque wrestling.
Yeah.
Similar question Bill fired over to him, and it's like, he's like, a lot of people will ask if he has wrestling experience. Like, wrestling experience.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm a performer. It's like the same thing over here. It's like, you're doing what?
Yeah.
They're giving you money for it. Yeah?
100%.
They're giving you like, what, $5? I feel like that might be one of the misconceptions, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it is, especially because, they may look at, the big fights are obviously UFC paper card and all that, and they're like, oh, they're getting, hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. How far is that down here? What are you guys getting paid? Truthfully, if I'm you, man, I'm saying if I love what I'm doing, I don't really care what I'm getting paid to do.
Exactly.
And I think anybody who starts a business, right, like you're in your own business, you're essentially your own boss. I'm thinking how much work have we had to put into the food truck and the podcast and not take a paycheck for how long now?
Yeah.
Right. So we're doing it for the love of the podcast, the love of the chicken and the community. You're doing it for the love of, I'm going to reverse it and say for, punching other people in the face. You're not loving getting punched in the face, but
That's a good point,
It's
though,
kind of
though.
like a business a little bit. Like he's investing in himself right now and hoping, that through execution and, good training and everything, he can, prosper.
I know you're having a tired week, but man, you still bring some heat there. Because that's a good point. I never thought about that. We're in the same kind of valley. We're not getting punched in the face physically, but metaphorically, it's tough sometimes to show up and set these cameras up and go and fry chicken and prep that chicken. I mean, it's long, 14 to 16-hour days sometimes. I mean, it is long, long days. But I never thought about it that way. I think that's some really good wisdom you brought there, Bill. I think it is. We're both sort of self-entrepreneurs here. You're building in the business of self-branding, and we've got a chicken brand, a food brand, right? But it's right. We, the same way that I looked at him and said, like, do people misunderstand you in what you're doing out of your passions and taking lesser paychecks to do what you love? We're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're not that far off. So that's a really good tie-in. The one tie-in that I didn't get clarity on, though, as we sit here is, how'd you get the nickname The General? Is it as simple as what I'm thinking right now with the ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 good old boy. Ding, ding.
Me and my little brother have definitely been big Dukes of Hazzard fans, and this is probably gonna get taken the wrong way, but my great grandpa somewhere down the line is actually Robert E. Lee. So he is the General Lee, and he was part of the Confederate War. He was definitely not against all the crazy stuff. So he was against all the crazy
You don't
stuff.
got to worry about the woke here. We're just,
You ain't getting canceled here.
getting canceled here. And you can fight him anyway. I mean, there's a. Why don't you shut? No.
Yeah, why don't you buy a ticket to the event, come out and see him at
Yeah.
Shipyard and talk to him in person? How about
Wait
that?
till you see our game show at the end, and then we'll see if you're offended. You got to make it to the end of the episode before you find defense. But that's cool. So a lineage that ties back to a relationship with the General Lee, and then obviously a love for Dukes of Hazzard. That's pretty simple. I mean,
Yeah, it makes
Yeah, and
sense.
that walkout is always my favorite walkout.
you walk out to
I walk out to.
just a good old boy.
No, it's
Okay.
I don't know why I can't think of the name right now, but it's talking about the car pretty much.
Okay.
Talking about Charger. Yeah, it's a great walkout.
They will say you ever saw me in trouble with a long song.
I
Sorry,
love that one,
that's just my ADHD just flying off the hook there. I just had to get it all out.
So
I would have
what-
thrown a temper tantrum by the end of this if I could.
He's like, I gotta say it, I gotta say
I
it, I
would
gotta
just
say it,
keep,
I gotta say
I
it.
gotta say, I just keep sliding them in the whole time.
So one thing we talk about, True, I don't know, do you have kids yet?
No, I do have 2 American bullies though that I do consider my kids.
Okay, even better. There you go. So one thing that we always talk about is the work-life balance, right? So I'm not sure what you do on your daily 9 to 5. If you do have a job, I know you coach football, obviously, so that's cool, giving back to the community and working with the kids and stuff like that. I actually work right down the road from you there in Piqua, downtown there, kind of close to Crooked Handle Brewing, so we'll have to get lunch sometime. But how do you balance that and your work schedule and your fighting schedule? Because I'm sure you're training at all different hours of the day, right? Maybe 5 a.m. today, 6 p.m. the next day. How do you balance all of that? Because it sounds like you got a lot going on.
Yeah, honestly, I am unemployed right now, so if anybody's hiring, hit me up. I'll
Open to
definitely
work.
take
Open to
that.
work.
Yeah.
Jake Lee sounds like he's a stand-up guy. I mean, that's
Tell them about what experience you got, Jake. Sell yourself to anybody out here listening.
what do you want
to do?
I wanna
Let's
start
go,
there.
baby. Let's get
I
this man
really
hired.
want to work with dogs, honestly.
Okay.
And after football, I'll definitely be willing to work around whatever schedule.
But that's cool. Yeah, you guys are interested. Jake Lee, you can get in touch with the Two Dads podcast. You can DM us, or you can find their emails on there. We'd be remiss if we didn't try to. There's this nice,
There it is, Chad.
I heard Chad. I say remiss a lot in every episode for those that are tracking. Maybe we'll have Josh cut like a remiss counter and
Yeah.
just cut them all into one clip. That'd be
So for the listeners, Chad Webster, Bear, shout out Bear. He lost the Water Wash Cup this year.
Bear.
But he comments every week. He texts me every week. He's a huge fan of the show. And he commented today and he said, Mitch's favorite word is remiss.
it really
And
is.
he said, I've heard it every episode and it's not a very common word. He said, I haven't heard remiss 34 times in my life, but I've heard it 34 times on the show. So
Maybe we just get a T-shirt. It says remiss.
I would be remiss. Dot.
That is the OG Pickle himself. So beyond the work-life balance, you have a fight coming up, and for those that are listening and you've been tuning in this far, October 25th at the Shipyard Sports and Events Center in Salina, Ohio, you can come watch MMA. It's going to be some great fights. They've got some really good contenders out there. There's going to be a pretty long card, and I think they've got some big boy heavyweights coming out there too. I think they're pro. Are they pro?
There's some pros on that card for sure. I know it's pro-am, but all the fighters I've seen on that card have been some pretty heavy hitters, honestly.
So it's going to be a good show.
Yeah,
basically.
and them tickets are priced pretty good, especially for the venue. Like some of them venues rip you off, man.
Let's look into that a little bit, right? Let's see what the prices are. What's the price at Shipyard? Do we know, Mitch?
I'm
45 for general admission. I think 75.
I'm gonna look it up real quick while we're talking about it.
So
Shipyard Showdown
compared to other events, right? Let's talk
Tickets.
about the Dust Bowl you fought in over there on 33 or whatever you talked about. How much were tickets for that? They were $85 is what I heard. So this is a hell of a deal for you guys.
So
to
I'm
come
looking.
out
I
here.
just
I
looked it
think
up.
that's exactly what it was.
I just looked it up. So right now, there's a couple options as we just kind of talk about people who want to participate. Because honestly, hearing your story so far, I can't wait to go out there and see you fight. Now that I got a little piece of we're going to be cheering you on, buddy. It's going to be great.
Maybe we'll paint our chests.
Dude, Jake, the General Lee.
You guys can put like a 5-1. I like 5-1.
Perfect. I'll just put them on my nips. $45 general admission. I'm looking this up right now at boardwalkvillage.com. So October 25th at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So the fight will start at 6 p.m. People will start coming in a little bit earlier than that. They have reservation tables upstairs, so like they're going really quick. You can sit in the sub shack, or you can sit along the shipyard and watch down from the skybox. So they've got some stuff. So $45 general admission gets you in there, and then $75 for the VIP tickets. That gets you a little bit of an elevated experience, better seating, and some booze in there. So that'll be really exciting. And like you said, Jake, this is a really nice venue. I mean, I get the chance to go in there quite a bit. It's our commissary for 2 days. It's nice. So it's climate controlled. It looks like it's meant for a UFC fight. They've invested in the lighting systems and stuff like that. The music systems are good. I've watched them put the music equipment, the sound equipment installed. Like, dude, I get pretty juiced like walking through there passively. I can't imagine what's going through your head. But as you prep for October 25th in this fight at the Shipyard Showdown, what does a Jake Lee camp look like? Now, we don't want to give away too much from your curriculum. Obviously, you don't do a lot of social media. You don't like to share a lot of your, tricks of the trade, so to speak. But what does a fight camp look? When does it start? Can you give some of the grueling workouts or what you do during these, and like when do you wrap it up to try to like rest before you go to weigh-ins?
Just to get this off first, we really just rest the last week, honestly, and try to get your weight right the last week. But this fight camp, I'm still coaching football, so I don't want to drive to Pickwood and drive back home and then have to get back in my car and go back to Pickwood. So I go straight from football to the gym parking lot. I take a nap for an hour and then go train for the rest of the night pretty much. And we do boxing on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then go into jiu-jitsu. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do kickboxing and then MMA. Some of them workouts, like, honestly, right now, like I said, my little brother's in Marines boot camp in Paris Island, and I just keep thinking about him. Half the shit doesn't really faze me because I know he's going through hell, so
it inspires you a little bit to like, if he can go through Marine boot camp, I certainly can stand in this 2x2 box or whatever. And it's still impressive sleeping in your car. I mean, that's dedication to the game, Bill. You got to appreciate that, no?
Yeah, I only did that back in my drinking days when I couldn't drive, so that wasn't really by choice there. But it was good times back then. I would say your neck probably hurts from sleeping in the car a little bit.
100%.
But
100%.
Can we get a neck pillow sponsor or something for this guy?
We're the airplane ones.
We couldn't get you a job, Jake, but we did get you a neck pillow. Which
it's there. I appreciate it.
Let's take what you can get. But do you remember, like, let's go back psychologically, right? Your first fight, you said you're a little nervous for some of these fights. Your first fight, you're getting ready to walk out. What's that going through? Because I can only imagine, right? I've seen the big fights, and here they come out of these entrances, and everything's hyped up. What's going through your brain there? Because I feel like there's got to be a point where you have to flip the switch, right? To me, I'd say you got to flip the switch in the locker room, walk out there ready to be a warrior. I don't think you can wait too long and do it in the ring when you see your opponent. But, I mean, you're the expert here. What would you say?
I'm going to give you two different answers because I'm going to give you my first boxing match and then MMA. my first boxing match happened first, and I was so calm for that one. I mean, I thought I couldn't be. I thought I was indestructible. You always do. We're young and dumb. And back training, I literally had my hands behind my back, and they gave me the worst locker room. But I mean, the venue 18 is what it is. I just moved these tables away from the chairs away from the tables and started working my foot movement. Like, all right, if he punches me with this hand, I'm going to step this way and pivot out that way and then hit him with this hand. And everything felt way too perfect. And then you get in there and it's straight to chaos. And you're like, yep, I should have known better than that, man. And I honestly, like, from being 220 pounds and coming down to 155, I was like, all right, I should be able to handle this kid with ease. Still thinking I was 220, even though I step on the scale and it says 155. I just obviously didn't hit like a 220, and we just kept going back and forth, back and forth. I did a good job about not getting hit still, but there was a couple times I think we headbutt each other, and I took the blunt end of that, and I was kind of like, oh, that hurt. Like, and I knocked him down. I won both of the first 2 rounds, and then going into the 3rd round, I was like, I convinced myself that I was losing somehow. And my coach was like, just knock him down and you win. So I go out. I tried tapping up with him because that's another thing that goes back to that UFC game. You hold L2 to knuck up at the beginning of the match. Low respect.
Yeah.
And my buddies knew once you didn't tap my hand and you went for a punch, it was game over. I was going to go as hard as I could to murder
inspired.
you.
Yeah, don't give him a reason to go
and
crazy.
I walked out with my hand up, and he looked like he was about to tap my hand, and he pulled my hand down and blasted me. I was like, this.
That's dirty, man. That's just
Dirty,
that's
right?
Dirt,
So
yeah.
I did everything I could. I think I hit him with a nice 2-3-2 and dropped him. I thought I won. I was like, thank God, my arms were so heavy. And I turn around, get to my corner, turn back around, and he's on a knee. I was like, oh, great. He got back up. We go another little bit. I knocked him down, and he got back up from that. And I'm like, great, dude. And then I heard them little things clack, and I was like, all right, now we only got 10 seconds. And we were fighting at a venue where his team like ran the venue, and his teammate was the ref. And he started laying it on me because I was so tired, and I'm just standing in the corner balled up. And I hear the ref go, if you don't move, Blue, I'm gonna stop it. I'm like, dude, them things just clacked. Like, I got this thing bagged up. Like, just let me get beat up a couple seconds. And he said it again. I was like, I'm not letting him fucking stop this fight. I seen a 2 coming down the pipe. I slipped, blasted him. It happened one more time, and then the fight was over. I was like, thank God this is over, man. I won.
Okay, good. I was sitting here on the edge of my seat going, did you just get screwed? Is this?
I think I boxed one more time, and I got knocked out after my first boxing match. And then you really know you're not indestructible, and it's kind of scary. It's like, oh, that was like the real first moment of, am I cut out for this? Like, it wasn't just a knockout. It was a weird knockout. Like, I got hit funny. Yeah, the kid was a hard hitter, but I kind of just slid back into the ropes, and then by the time I hit the canvas, I was already awake. So it didn't make sense to me. And I did have some weird medical issues. I really don't even pay attention to them anymore. They're gone. And yeah, so I knew I wasn't indestructible. And then going into your MMA fight, you have half the gloves on. You can kick. There's takedowns. My first boxing match, my second boxing match, and my first MMA fight, they were all buddies. So I literally fought a group of buddies.
You fought somebody's peer group.
Yeah.
You went from Mitch, knocked him out, went to Bill, knocked him out, and now you get hit Rob Wenty at the end. And Rob just weeping in the corner.
Bill definitely knocked me out. That second one did not go my way.
Okay, all right. Mitch gets knocked out, Bill, and then third. Did you win the third?
I won my third
Okay.
MMA. That was my first MMA match, my third fight in total. And
How much is the gap in between this timeline?
After my second boxing match, I got in a car accident, and I might be messing this up, but I'm pretty sure this is how I got I had my first match, my second boxing match, then I got in a terrible car accident where I flipped my girlfriend at the time's Jeep. Well, I got T-boned and we flipped it, and she got a concussion. I pretty much came out unscathed, but then we started looking into all, like the health issues of why I got knocked out in that fight, because it's not a seizure, but I like kept passing out in the hospital as I was laying there perfectly fine. But I was really just worried about everybody who was in the accident. I kind of just worked myself up into passing out.
Does that ever, I mean, it's a scary thought, right? Like just like in general, right? Just getting knocked out. And then you go through those medical issues. Did that ever enter your brain to just give it all up? You know, there's obviously, you got a long life to live, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, you talk about football players with CTE is a real issue. I don't know what all the documented cases are for MMA and boxing, but I know they're there, right? You could see Muhammad Ali, obviously, through all those punches.
And he just went through a car accident.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You take that on top of that. Was there ever a moment where you just said, look, I love this with my life, but my health's more important and I'm going to give it up? Or did you just say, this is what I'm born to do and I'm going to keep doing it?
That's exactly what I said. I told my dad I was low-key crying. I said, dude, they're going to take everything from me. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I think they fucked something up. They're trying to put a pacemaker in my chest, and I don't want that. And he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, I'm dead serious. Like, I feel fine on any typical day. Now they're putting a heart monitor on me, telling me I'm dying. Like, I don't buy that. And then they send me to some specialist, and he pretty much just told me to stop smoking weed. So I was like,
Okay.
great doctors we got here in America. Like, God dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
And I thought he was making it up too, so I kept smoking.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
That's how I deal with training all the time.
Hey, Joe Rogan says, and Joe Rogan says he trusts 0 doctors. They're not going to pump me full of anything. He's just,
Dana White went through that.
Yeah, he just says, here's
Gary
what you
Brecka.
need to do, and he's got these 5 core principles, and he believes in them, and he just says, if I got to go, that's how I go.
Let me pivot this back to you because I like where you're going. Let me ask you this. You know, we danced around the 3-4 record. Maybe I'm more insecure about it than you are, right? Like talking about it.
Yeah,
because
you're good.
Because it's not you're not above 500, right?
Yeah.
But how does that process, going through everything you just talked about, with the car accident and the health and the contemplations that you went through, how does that all lead to how you process setbacks? Do these things like a loss or a doctor telling you can't, maybe someone telling you can't, do they fuel you or do they haunt you?
Probably fuel me, honestly. A little bit of haunt. Like, you go back and forth, but
You're human.
tell me I can't. Like, I'll do it until I can't. Like, honestly, after I lost my title fight, I freaked out. I don't like freaking out after my losses. A loss is a loss. It's a learning, whatever. But I always just leave for a second, yell, punch a wall, and then I'm back. Well, I have 2 coaches. One is still a fighter at the gym, and it's Chelsea Connor and Johnny Connor. And Chelsea was pregnant at the time, and they took their time to, which I know it's their gym, but they still take their time to give back to us. So they could have just sent Connor Smith out there and told him, hey, go corner Jake, but they didn't. They came out, and I knew they had to leave. I went and freaked out. I expected Johnny to be gone. And he waited for me to talk to me, and it was kind of just like, dude, it's a loss. Like, just keep going. You're one of the best in the gym. You have a confidence problem. Go out and perform the next time. We'll be right back in this position, which you have to have at least 3 fights, I think, and a winning record to fight for a title, which I was like, he's right. Next month or whatever it was, we got another fight. That was my last fight down in Kentucky, and I lost that. And I think the guy was 1-0 or 2-0 at the time. And you think, all right, I got all these fights. I'll beat someone who's 2-0. Well, I wrestled 1 year and sucked, and he grabbed me, took me down, and completely ruined my game plan, which I don't know why, thinking in this game of all these possibilities, I can just stand there and not get taken down by someone who's good at taking people down. I need to work on my wrestling. So that was my first time actually having back-to-back losses, and it didn't really mess with my head, but I decided, dude, you're going way too quick. You're 22, 23 years old. You have a long life to live. You might be a little beat up. You have no kids. You still have to have kids. You have to eventually get a job where you can provide for a family. Heal up, give yourself a year to decide what you want to do. I didn't really take a break from training because I hate taking a break. Like, my buddies are still fighting. I need to be there for them. So Johnny's like, hey, you ready for this Hobart show? And I was like, yeah. And then my girlfriend tapped me on the arm and was like, we're going to be in Colorado for that Hobart show. I was like, are you joking?
We were going to be in Colorado.
We were.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I texted my mom. I said, hey, cancel the plans for me. She's like, you're bullshitting. And then I found out my grandpa is not doing the greatest, and that's why we were going to Colorado. So I had to sit out Hobart. But now I'm excited for this one.
So you weren't in Hobart,
I was at the first Hobart, the second Hobart,
which
I
was
missed.
the previous one that they the Ego Fight Series put down. So that's interesting. For those that are listening, before I toss it to Bill Ray, Shipyard Showdown is what we're getting ready for in a couple weeks. It's on October 25th at the Shipyard Sports and Events Center in Salina, Ohio. Mercer County, listen up. Like, this is an MMA fight coming to the area. We all watch it on TV, whether it's a pay-per-view or you see it on some of the local channels, right? This is our opportunity to watch UFC, and they all have stories similar to Jake. You know, you're going to have a fighter across from you, right, at this upcoming event. And Bill, maybe take us inside Fight Night. Let's open that can of worms, you know?
So Shipyard Showdown, October 25th, you're going to be out there. As you were just kind of talking, you know, you had to miss the Hobart show. You had to go to Colorado, obviously for a good reason, right? Family always first. What's this fight mean to you, though? Is this your path to getting back on track and a prosperous future?
I'm honestly shaking thinking about it. It means the world.
He is shaking. Just for those that are listening on spot, I can see that. I can see how much this means. You'd mentioned it beforehand. I don't want to cut you off, but you said you got like a pregame tickle as we were like sending the text.
Yeah.
You're like, I kind of get the little itch, but you could see
It's making me think about it a lot right now.
Yeah.
I get peened in for stuff like this, man. Yeah, it means the world. With my little brother being out at boot camp, really, he's the reason I got into this, to just keep him, like, show him that there's something to keep going and doing, that you can be whatever you want to be. And then my other little brother, I can't remember. I think they're 7-0 right now. He plays on a Pee Wee football team. They should be playing in the Super Bowl that same day. So I'm hoping he goes out, whoops ass, and then I get to go out and whoop ass. So it means a lot to me, honestly.
So it probably means a whole lot to your whole family. How many family members are you going to have out there? Do you know?
I have no clue, honestly. I got way too much family to count, and I just try to think about, I'm going to be there on fight night. Like, that's really all I can think about, because there's going to be a point in time where I have to fly somewhere to fight, and they might not be able to come see me. So it is what it is.
Yeah, what is that like? Because where was the Hobart show? Like
that's in Troy.
Troy. Okay, so relatively, and I didn't know that, but like,
I'm just laughing because it was like, you're like, where's Hobart at? And I would just immediately was like, Hobart Arena, right, in Troy?
Yeah.
No idea. Yeah, no, I don't even leave the basement sometimes. You know what I mean? If I watch the UFC, or MMA, it's definitely on the digital way. But but you're a little bit closer now. Does that bring a little bit more intensity to this fight? Like, does it make it? I'm not trying to make you nervous, but is it like, dude,
No.
now people are in
I like
proximity.
getting
Your
nervous.
friends are okay. All right, tell us about that.
My first couple fights that were at the venue in Fostoria, I had 50+ people come out, and then over the years, kind of just dwindles because everybody's growing up. You can't just go out and party and watch fights on a weekend. But now it's right down the road. Hopefully, everybody knows about it, and you can actually find time to make it out. But I honestly need to just do a better job of promoting myself. And
Well, I think you did a pretty good job here. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
unironically, you
you
jumped on a very, I don't want to say, I don't like to be like facetious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like to, Aaron jumped on a very large podcast, but we're doing,
Dude, you guys had the mayor on here the other
Yeah,
day.
we
That
did
was
have
crazy.
the mayor. Let's go, baby. We did have the mayor on here, so you will be the two episodes post-seeding the
Dude,
mayor.
and that Jake dude is pretty big, isn't he?
Jake's
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's on Bill Ray there, yeah.
But one
He's
thing,
done his knowledge. He's not
Yeah.
just a fighter. He's
Yeah.
got the brains, too.
I was watching shit today.
That's good.
good. So, but that's one thing I think you could tap into. We use social media to promote our business, other people's businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Your fight, obviously, Shipyard Showdown, October 25th. Buy your tickets.
Nice.
But do you ever think about going out there and putting some more content out there on social media? I know you say you're not big into it, but do you think that might heighten your awareness and get you more followers / fans and get you more opportunities out there?
Yeah, I would love to. Honestly, I'm I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a funny guy, dude. Like if I did
Strut
some
your
Corey
shit, brother.
Sandhagen
Yes.
skits, I'd kill those skits. Like I honestly need to start working with my buddy Connor, dude. He does some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. Like he was fighting a wrestler the one time, so he borrowed one of our buddies' singlets, and it was like way too small on him, and he walked out and spit water all over the place and had this big entrance to the gym and posted it. And I'm like, God.
I tried to put Bill in a very tiny singlet the other day when he had the wrestler on, and you did.
I did. It was not the most flattering thing in the world, but I put it on there. But it's also like, it's the fun, right? Like,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
be fun, be
Pageantry.
awkward. Yeah, enjoy it.
You know, the other side is you've given. I'm going to give you a little piece of advice because, like, my background and stuff. I worked for a lot of big influencers like Logan Paul, Mr. Beast, and stuff like that. Listen, you've given us every piece of information to send this back your way. You're unemployed right now. There's really no reason in your spare time you couldn't be doing this, right? You've already told us you have the personality, right? And then the third is you said this isn't getting smaller, right? In the next 5 years, we're likely to see, you know, the parent. What was the parent company of UFC right now? Isn't it? They bought the WWE and the UFC. I cannot that round.
You're asking the wrong guy.
That's fine. It's like knockout something or round I don't know. But either way, they're investing a lot of money in this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not going to get any smaller from here. So you've got those three things working in your favor. You've got time, you've got personality, and you've got a business that's going to expand around you whether you like it or not. I think the time is now. I don't know what Bill just looked
TKO.
up. TKO. Thank you so much, Bill. So I guess my question is, I'm just going to ask you point blank, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from doing showcasing the personality of Jake Lee? It doesn't need us to showcase it for you. You've done a great job here. I think this is a fantastic episode, and I think people who are listening right now probably really liked it, but what's stopping you, man? Like, is it a confidence issue? Or where are we
It's
at?
probably confidence,
All right,
but also at
Jake.
the same time, I'd probably get canceled pretty quick, not gonna lie.
You can edit it. It's not
True,
live. You know
true,
what I mean?
I
No one
could.
said you got to go live and start talking politics or something like
I
that.
hate politics, bro.
Well, I
Honestly,
think for the advice for getting canceled, yeah, you can always get canceled on social media, right? We avoid a few topics
Send
on
it
here.
to us a few times.
And we'll
ahead
tell
of
you,
time.
we'll give
tell
you a green or a red.
or a red.
All right.
And we'll say, I wouldn't post that, brother. That's a little too edgy.
Hey,
but,
you think this is a bad racial joke? Like, yeah, man, maybe slow with that one down.
but genuinely, like, just get out there, be yourself, post things that you like. And again, if you listen to Jake Savecki episode, he literally said, he's like, I don't care if you do like it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you love it. I hope you do. But be you, be yourself, and just have fun with it.
One of the other things I will add is Bill and I get this all the time. We run a food truck that makes chicken fingers, dude.
Yeah.
Like, break the fourth wall. Everybody listening. You know how many questions we get from haters or people that don't take the time to really dive deep and listen to these episodes? They say things like, Bill, how many times have you heard this one? Why is a chicken truck talking about, why does a chicken truck have a podcast?
I still have that
Stupid.
screenshot that I sent you, like right when we started this. I was like, man,
Well, the answer is everything's content. How many times is
Everything
we all
is,
watch the Food Network? I mean, you go watch a back door of a kitchen, you go watch Gordon Ramsay, you go watch us sling chicken and French fries. The answer is because everything is content. You know, we've moved away from cable to streaming services, and now from streaming services to a heightened social media, and relatively, people fill their time with things that they don't have access to do. And I don't get access other than a small amount of UFC when it comes in the highest form of pay-per-view. But, you know, you have such a personality where, Tom Burden came on. Here's a tangent. He said, I started Grip Mat because I liked making things and this was a problem and I like these two things and boom, I paired them together. Well, guess what? You're a UFC fighter or a potential UFC, you're an MMA fighter trying to get to the UFC ideally, and you love dogs. That right there is an interesting, perfect paradigm to say, be known as the dog guy. We're known as the chicken guys. I mean, it's not like so the last thing I say before we jump into the last question, and I'll toss it over to Bill for our final question before we get to our game show. There's nothing stopping you.
I got you.
You can be the.
I play so much video games too that I should be streaming when I'm playing.
Sure. I mean, you're at the pinnacle. I stream professionally too.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm a Twitch partner.
that's why I said I was better than him in PUBG.
Yeah, he's making fun of me, like he's jesting. But I think that you have the time right now, and for anybody listening to turn this back on you, if you have the time, the talent, and the passion, just like Jake here, there's no reason you can't. Whether that's a job, a career, or even something as simple as making reels on social media. So toss it to you, Bill.
Yeah, before I ask my last question, I do think to continue on that, even if the MMA didn't work, think of the socials on dogs. Every human in this world, okay, not every, 95% of the
Most
world
people.
loves dogs.
Non-weirdos.
Right? Girls love dogs, kids love dogs, old people love dogs. Mitch loves dogs. I'm on the fence about him. I got a dog in there. She's great, but
Only because your kid's allergic to dogs, though.
yeah, it's just a pain because you got to give them all the
Yeah,
allergy
get the
medicine. So there's pros and cons. But you could create content just around that, and you could blow up. And then all of a sudden, look, now you can start your own doggy daycare or whatever.
My name's
you may
Jake,
be.
the General Lee, and
I love dogs.
and I love dogs. I'm gonna teach you how to deworm and shave your dog.
Yeah, and if you're good at training dogs, maybe you can become a dog
That's
trainer.
a good one.
Yep.
I'm the toughest dog trainer there is. See, let us write for you. We'll get back to this. Go ahead.
We'll create a little partnership. But all right, in all seriousness, when the lights go down and the crowd fades, right? What do you want people to remember about you? The fighter, the man, the story?
Honestly, the man probably. Like, I love my family. That's family first. I always try to lead by example, whether that be holding the door for the next person or doing whatever nice you can. Like, and I don't only fight to get my voice out like this, but I feel like I don't have the greatest opinions, but I do have an open point of view, and I feel like one day I can help people with my words. There's just I feel like there's so much more to fighting than just being a fighter. My story is pretty cool, but I'd rather my parents' stories be told. They're crazy, and they lived a way cooler life than I have. I sleep, train, and play video games, hang out with my dogs. Like,
Yeah, but they gave you the opportunity to do so.
Yeah,
You are their story.
yeah.
One of those things that we appreciate now that Bill and I have kids. I worked with some big influencers. Bill's worked some big jobs, right? Like, you've managed a lot of people. It's their story now, man. Once you have kids, your parents would probably flip this back on you and say, Jake, we did it so you could do this, so you could have a shot at your dream. So I think that's pretty cool. And give yourself some more credit, buddy, because it's time for the game show, and I need all the confidence I can get. Jake, our lawyers always make us ask, Bill Ray, you know this too well. Are you interested in playing the game show? Bill, I can adjust this for two people. There's going to be no points. It's not
I
going to
played like the last 6 weeks. I need a bye week.
You know what? A bye week for Bill is okay. Jake, the General Lee, are you interested in playing today's game show?
Yep.
Okay, this one's called Who Would You Punch in the Face?
Okay.
All right, Jake, it's time for our most therapeutic segment of the night. Who would you punch in the face? No gloves, no refs, just pure fantasy. And for those listening at home, we're not talking real violence here. Just like analogy, okay? This is the comedy cage match of a mildly annoying people and well-meaning humans who just push the wrong buttons. So let's see who makes your list of who would you punch in the face. This is 12 people you may or may not punch in the face. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Number 1. The guy who claps when the airplane lands. Do you punch him in the face or not?
Is that guy annoying? I've never been on a plane.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of Bill, would you punch him in the face? You can call. You can call to the corner if you need one. Bill in the corner. You're going to answer this one.
No consequences?
No consequences. Punch him. He's. I would say in mine, like, I'm across from you on the other side. I don't like to give you my secret.
Stop that shit.
I might punch. Yeah, I might give
Maybe
him
just a rib jab.
Just maybe a light.
Sit down.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever invented autoplay ads on YouTube. So ads that autoplay when you start a video, just having to start watching an ad. Would you punch that guy in the face?
Oh, like right off
right off
on
the rip.
video?
You gotta watch an ad before you even see the content. Would you punch that guy in the face?
You guys don't make any money off those.
No, not yet.
No,
No,
those guys suck.
Yeah, we're punching him in the face. Good. Thank you.
Hey, one day when we do, we're going to need you to like those
he'll
ads
be a
again.
small guy. He's nice.
We're
He's
just
cool.
gonna mute that part of it. All right. The well-meaning neighbor who looks personally offended to you when you tell her you're allergic to the casserole that she made. Would you punch her in the face or not?
No.
Okay, she did a nice
do
gesture.
that.
That's nice. People who
She did try to kill me though.
That's good. That's true. People who take forever at a self-checkout and still need help from the attendant. Would you punch him in the face?
Bro, that's me and my girlfriend, and I would punch us in the face.
Okay, she's going to self-punch in the face. We like that one. The friend who gives unsolicited life advice at 2 a.m. after only one beer. Do you punch him in the face or not?
Dildy, I love you, but yes.
He's got a name.
Shout him out.
All right. The coworker who says, "What are you doing today, Jake? Working hard or hardly working?" Every Monday. Do you punch him in the face?
I'm whooping his ass.
People who talk on speakerphone in public. Do you punch him in the face?
The nosy side of me says no, but like if I'm in a mood and I hear you talking on the phone, you better run. I ain't doing that.
A partial 50-50
Yeah,
punch.
that's-
Okay. Apple for changing their chargers again and somehow calling it an upgrade.
Yeah, that was some BS. I
You
mean,
finally get enough of the good chargers and they
Yeah.
change it.
I've spent over probably $500 on chargers. We're stocked up now, and then you change them.
Yep, 100%. Get punched in the face. The influencer at your gym who does push-ups in the outside the cage. He's just nodding silently.
yeah.
There's just an evil hate in that one.
That was,
Okay, next one. Whoever keeps making the McDonald's ice cream machine mysteriously broken. Do you punch him in the face?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give
We're cutting
McDonald's.
weight,
I'm
dude.
gonna give McDonald's a rip, dude. Riker loves McDonald's ice cream cones, and I bet we're like 50 for the last 50. We caught on to the fake rule that it was broke, and the managers are definitely like, no, you need to keep that open until 11 p.m. I
There you
don't
go.
care if you have
Perfect.
to clean it early.
Perfect. Spotify ads that interrupt the perfect gym playlist with want to break from the ads? Do you punch that person in the face?
Dude, I'm gonna be real. I'm blessed enough. My sister's been letting me rock her Spotify premium for like.
No punch in the face on that one.
He slides on that one.
All
just
right, that
'cause my
one.
sister.
And the last one, the ex who still watches your stories and likes everything unironically.
I'm gonna say no because you can't hit women, but.
And a good answer to end on. That is Jake,
What a respectable
the
young man.
General Lee. He's going to be out at the Shipyard Showdown October 25th at the Shipyard Events Center in Salina, Ohio. Bill Ray, anything to say before we go?
Every fighter at this fight that's listening, if you win your fight, you get one free Two Dads meal to our last kickoff event, which the date will be announced soon.
All right. And Jake, anything to say before you go? Anything you want to promo? Anything you want to just tell the listeners besides, hey, he's looking for a job? Anything else for you, buddy?
Yeah, follow my Instagram. I think it's Jake the General 51 Lee. Let me check.
We'll put it. We'll put it in the
Yeah,
description.
yeah.
Don't worry, buddy. And that's all for the Two Dads podcast. Thank you for being here. Episode 35. We'll see you guys again soon.
Appreciate
See you guys at Shipyard.